Hello there, welcome to my question of the day. If you found me on YouTube, please have a go at this question, and you may pause and have a go at it yourself and then I'll go over it. If you found this question on Facebook, I did post it a couple of days ago, so hopefully you're tuning in because you want to find out how I did the answer. Now, I'm looking at this question and I want to have a look at some important words here. So the diagram shows a square inside an equilateral triangle. And of course, I've got to find the value of x and y. When I read that, I notice that it's asking for the value of x and y. And often students come to jump to the conclusion that you need to find x, then you need to find y, and then you need to add your answers together. I would challenge that and say that really you only want to know what the value of x and y is. Maybe the individual values of x and y are not actually that important in this question. So they're my initial thoughts. And I think I want to draw some information on the diagram to help me. Now I know that a square obviously has four sides of equal lengths. And I do know that a square has interior angles that are all the same, 90 degrees. Some other information that's going to be quite useful is I have an equilateral triangle which also has equal lengths, and each of the interior angles are 60 degrees. Now that is going to be quite useful helping me solve this problem. And I think, so we have another one there that's 60 degrees. So the way I'm going to approach it may be very different from the way you're approaching it. There are, I think, lots and lots of ways of answering this question, but I'm just going to show you the way that I liked. When I look at this left-hand triangle, this bottom left-hand triangle involving x and 60 degrees, I notice that I've got to have another angle here that has to make 180 degrees when I add those three angles together. Now I can express this angle as 180 degrees, subtract 60 degrees, subtract x. So another way of expressing that in its simplest form is 120 degrees, subtract x. That is the size of that angle. If I have a look on the other side of the square, of the tilted square, I have another triangle, this time with an angle of 60 degrees and y degrees and an unknown angle. If I want to do something similar, I could express this as 180 degrees, subtract 60 degrees, and this time subtract y degrees. I can see that I've got 120 degrees, subtract y degrees. And at this point, I can drop the degrees if I want to. Let's just write 120 subtract y, just to make it easier to look at. And I'll do the same on the other one. Now, what I noticed also is that along the bottom of the triangle, I have a straight line. And we should know that angles at a point on a straight line have to add up to 180 degrees. So I have the blue angle, which is 120 subtract x. I have the 90 degrees just in the middle there, 90. And I have the other one on the right hand side, which is 120 subtract y. And I know that those three angles have to add up to 180 degrees because they're on a straight line. So hopefully that makes sense what I did there. Now, what I can do is simplify the left-hand side. I can see that 120 and 120 is 240. And I'm going to add that 90, and I've got to subtract x and I subtract y. And that all makes 180 degrees. What I could do next, if I wanted to, is I could subtract 90 degrees from both sides. I'm just doing this just the way that's easy for me when I'm trying to talk and write at the same time. There's lots of ways of doing this. And now I notice that I've got a negative x and a negative y. Well, I'm going to add x and I'm going to add y to both sides. If I do that, I end up with 240 is 90, add x, add y. I'm going to subtract the 90 degrees from both sides, which is going to leave me with 150 on the left-hand side and x and y on the right-hand side. I can therefore see that the value of x and y is 150. I have not found the individual values of x and y, but I do know that they have to add up to 150 degrees. Therefore, D is the correct answer. I hope you followed that explanation. If you wanted to get in touch with me, please go to my Facebook page, and I'll see you next time. Thanks very much.